You're about to watch karma strike in real time. A woke doctor thought she could confront ICE agents at the JFK airport who were there solely to make her life easier. And what happened next? It's going to absolutely blow you away. It was all caught on camera, and ironically, she's the one who filmed it. You're about to see a story of how one viral video from a lunatic leftist destroyed yet another activist career in less than 24 hours. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, enjoying yet another glorious day in Trump's golden age that you made possible back in November of 2024. So if you want a front row seat on how you continue to change the world in ways you never even imagined, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Meet Dr. Jennifer Lincoln of Kaiser Permanente. She's a bit of a social media celeb. She's got over 2 million subs on TikTok, but unfortunately for her, the good doctor is suffering from a chronic condition known as TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome, which caused her recently to do this.
So I'm here at JFK Airport, and there's a ton of ICE agents who are allegedly here to help. We know they're not, so I'm just going to go ask them a question. Let's see what they say. Excuse me? I just want to say thank you guys for being here. Because I know when I wake up in the morning, I'll never be racist pigs like you. No matter how bad I am, I'll never be like you. So good job. I hope your moms are real proud of you. They were cute, weren't they? I hope they continue to be best, like Melania be best, because they are being the best at being the worst. So to them.
Now, of course, what makes us all the more abhorrent is that these ICE agents are there actually, well, they're first and foremost, they're just following orders. They didn't decide where they would be deployed that day. Ultimately, it's the President of the United States who did. And you recall why he did. Because of this. Because the Democrats that obviously that woman supports have refused to fund the TSA. And as a result, travelers all across the country were forced to wait in airport security lines for upwards of 3 to 4 to 5 hours. It was ICE agents who were sent to our nation's airports to help lighten the load so that travelers like that good doctor can get to their destinations with the least amount of hassle and impediment as possible. The ICE agents were there for her. They were there to help keep the airports functional for American travelers. But TDS clouds all judgment, and it impairs all normal moral functioning. So enter this ultra-repulsive Dr. Jennifer Lincoln. She's an OBGYN. She's a contracted care provider at Kaiser Permanente in Portland, Oregon. And she decided that her audience members would enjoy her harassing ICE agents who, again, were there to help her and make her life easier. And then what she said was so revealing because it exemplifies the radical narcissism, the malignant narcissism that animates these woke lunatics. Did you hear what she said? I'm so glad you're around to remind me how wonderful I am. I'm so glad you're around because you always remind me I'll never be a racist pig like you are. No matter how bad I am, I'll never be as bad as you. And the beauty is, did you notice how the two agents responded? The New York Post did, and they loved it. They raised their eyebrows, smiled, and walked away. That's it. No argument, no confrontation, no soundbite for her to use. Just two composed, professional young men who refused to give her what she came for. And that's the irony of it all. Who demonstrably is the morally deranged person here? Who is the morally deformed person? Well, it's easy to see because then this deranged doctor then posted the video herself, apparently believing that she had done something heroic. But the internet had other ideas, as did her employer. You're going to absolutely love this. Gang, we're living through what can only be described as a historic turning point, a moment future generations will look back on and say, that's when everything changed. Right now, as President Trump leads what many see as a bold and decisive effort to confront the Iranian regime and dismantle its destabilizing influence across the globe, there's another battle unfolding, quieter, more subtle, but no less consequential. And it's happening right here at home. While strength is being projected abroad, something far more insidious is brewing domestically, because as momentum builds, so does desperation. Those entrenched forces who've long benefited from the old order, they see the writing on the wall. They see a resurgence of national confidence, of economic independence, of a people reclaiming control over their future. And they're not going to sit back and let that happen without a fight. So what do? Well, they shift the battlefield. Instead of confronting strength head on, they create instability where you're most vulnerable: your finances, your savings, your family's future. The real danger isn't just geopolitical, it's economic, it's systemic, and it's deeply personal. We're stepping into what I call the Patriot Economy, a new era where Americans are taking back control, not just culturally, but financially, where faith, family, and freedom aren't just ideals, they're the foundation of a new economic reality. And that means you have a choice to make. Do you wait and hope for the best, or do you take action right now to secure your family's future? This is where strategic moves matter. More and more Americans are turning to alternative financial systems, ones that operate outside the reach of centralized control. Cryptocurrency, when approached wisely, has become a powerful tool in that shift, not as speculation, but as protection, as sovereignty. And platforms like Block Trust IRA are positioning themselves right at the center of this transformation. Their Animus AI system is designed to help everyday investors navigate volatility with precision, working around the clock to identify opportunities and manage risk in a rapidly changing financial landscape. This isn't about guesswork. It's about strategy. Even more, they're offering institutional-grade security measures designed to protect your assets in a way traditional systems increasingly can't guarantee. And right now, they're offering a $2,500 bonus for those ready to take that first step, to begin building what we might call your family finance defense. Head on over to turleytalkscrypto.com and schedule a confidential conversation with their team. You will not be disappointed. The backlash against this deranged doctor was immediate and total. Libs of TikTok posted the clip on X. It went viral within hours, and immediately calls poured into Kaiser Permanente demanding accountability, and Kaiser, to their credit, responded immediately within 24 hours. Quote, Dr. Lincoln was a contracted care provider and not a member of our Northwest Permanente medical group. She has not provided services to our members since last October. We have notified her that her 6-month contract has ended effective today. Boom. Another one bites the dust. Another woke lunatic who thought she could bathe in the accolades of the far left by confronting ICE agents has only ended up destroying her own job situation, destroying her own reputation, and destroying her own practice at one of the largest healthcare systems in the country. The agents walked away clean. She did not. And she filmed the whole thing herself. Now, you might wonder, what on earth is going on here among healthcare professionals? How can a doctor, how can a medical professional be this irrationally, absurdly stupid? I mean, what on earth did she think she was going to get out of this? What did she think would come of this ridiculous stunt? And what we have to understand here is that the woke left is actually learning this lesson as a whole the hard way. They assume, ironically, that their privilege was still intact. They assume that they can harass and badger and provoke and agitate with total impunity. Well, they're learning that privilege is over. You see, the medical establishment in particular has spent the last 15 years pushing DEI programs and initiatives. They pushed gender ideology into medical schools. They pushed radical racial consciousness into hospital training. And what we're seeing now are the results of that. We're seeing more and more healthcare professionals who've been trained to see the world through a lens of cultural Marxist ideological struggle. For whom, I should say, political enemies are not just people with whom they have disagreements. Political enemies, for them, are evil. They're existential threats who need to be called out as such. And because you're supposedly on the side of justice, you can call them out without yourself being held accountable for that public provocation. Because you have a moral obligation to that public provocation. It's technically known as ideological capture when professionals, institutions, or regulatory bodies abandon their core mission, whatever it is, right? Scientific truth-seeking, or expertise, patient care, whatever it is. They abandon that core mission in favor of pursuing ideological and political agendas. So what this means is that, and we're seeing it particularly in healthcare professionals, but just among professions, the professions in general, they have been using their professions as veneers for pushing an ideological agenda. They're disguising themselves as experts when, in point of fact, that expertise has been recruited for political activism. What DEI has ultimately infested our professional class with is rabid, radical ideology that tells them it's their moral duty to publicly resist and call out racial, bigoted, sexist oppressors. They have an obligation to use their profession as a force to enact social justice. And the end result is lunacy. The end result is precisely that very lunacy we just saw in that video. And again, where they film themselves doing it, thinking that they are morally superior. So the good news is that the good guys are finally cracking down on this nonsense. Leftist lunatics are losing the very jobs they use as a shield to push their radical woke activism. And ironically, the more the professions are purged of this insanity, the better those professions and all of us will be.